Whistle. Today I will be painting some Renegade guardsmen. Wait, let me switch to the other side of the cam so I can get this in focus. So basically the backstory for these guys is that I was scrounging Facebook for deals, bargains, and then I found an offer I couldn't refuse, could not resist it. There was a giant, enormous batch, 150 of these guys, 160 even, for less than 25 cents a piece. But when I got them, they were totally mutilated. They were put together without much care. They were all crooked, so I had to break their arms, break their middles, recreate joints, put Procreate all over on top of them, just to hide the aberrations. And now they look halfway decent, so now I'm ready to paint them. So that's what I'll be doing this evening. Try and get a good hour of painting in, see how far I get. And that's what I'm doing. So, let's see. I'll start off with dry brushing them. I'm going to use Hobby Luck from P-Poses because this color orange is so it's really flat. After that I'll be exaggerating some pieces with Troll Slayer, and I will be highlighting with Vallejo Watercolor Salmon Rose, and Vallejo Watercolor Flat Flesh. So, but first I'm going to dry brush. If you guys want to ask me questions or anything, then I'll be paying close attention to the chat too. So feel free to make any comments you want to make. Take away the wet palette for a minute, give myself some room to paint. So just got a piece of paper towel here. Shake this matte Hobby Luck. I got a big brush here, which I'm going to dip in, and I'm going to brush the majority off. So these guys already have been dipped. I basically dipped them before I did the dry brushing because I love to see where the shades will be, and my eyes are not that good. This helps me see all the details, and if I dry brush it, still a lot of the shading survives. be careful not to break these bayonets off. I love this color, orange. Makes the orange look like it's a prison jumper or something. It's not as carrot orange as the spray paint that I base coated them with. Like a much flatter yellow type of orange. And it's a very cheap paint. Maybe $2.50 for 45 mil. It doesn't cover as well, so, but it's fine for an overbrush or a dry brush. Hi Ruloco, hi McNichol. Oh, Rulo Culo, sorry. Ah, welcome. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Rulo Culo says he discovered my channel today. That he likes what I'm doing. So that's always welcome. Thank you for joining the session. And McNichol, also welcome. McNichol is a very kind person. He always gives constructive criticism. He's known by everybody in the space. He's always on point with his critiques, and it's very useful, the things he has to say. So always cool to have McNichol in the building. So Rulo Culo, what do you play? Or are you just into crafting and painting? Ah, McNichol's trying to recruit me for his cause. He wants to see Melcon happen, like a Terraniacs meet and greet thing, like a convention based on the adoration of Melbos, I think. Our holy terrain tutor. Melcon. Okay. So I'm going to clean this brush for a second and I'll be back. Just a few seconds. I'm practically in the kitchen, so this won't take long. Okay, I'm back. So I got 60 more of these bad boys already with capes waiting to be dip shaded on the sink, and then I have about 50 more who just need to get a cape and maybe some cables like these. I guess I'll be done with them halfway through February if I get as much time to spend on it as I had the past couple of days. But you never know. I have a very intense job and 2 children, so all of a sudden I might end up with no time at all. And then it will probably be something to finish in March, but let's see how far I can get. Okay. So I think I'll start with doing the guns in the same fashion as the rest of my army, doing the chainsword. Let's make some room for my whip pellet. Formation. So I like the contrast of green set against the orange. So I'm doing my weapons in green. Already got a, let's say, good 90, maybe 100 female Astra Militarum with the orange-green contrast. Okay, so McNichol says that he changed his Cadian into like a Space Wolf Associates. So he's exploiting the gray and blue spectrum for them, which is cool. At first, all my Cadians, they were like anthracite gray with sort of this baby blue flak jackets, but didn't feel it anymore. And then I had a dream where I saw Cadia burn, and a lot of distraught Cadians and Astra Militarum from other factions, they were totally in disarray and they had to fly and flee, but the only thing that was still flying was a prison ship. So a lot of soldiers commandeered the ship, and then of course all the inmates were gone, but they left their prison outfits, and these prison fatigues were the only thing that resembled somewhat of a uniform. So all the ladies and gents aboard adopted the orange prison jumpers as their fatigues, and now they're either fighting for the emperor sometimes, they're fighting for humanity sometimes, or they're fighting for factions who pay them, or they're just basic renegades. They don't have a planet anymore. They've lost contact with imperial forces. So now they're touring the galaxy in search of the guap, trying to reorganize themselves, maybe recruit some new members into the fold. Take a planet by force. And then start over again. I like the way this green looks. This is German camo bright green by Vallejo. Model color. Really looks fresh on the orange. So, what's on your desk right now, people? What are you guys drawing or painting or constructing or deconstructing? Cool. So McNichol spent all afternoon painting Raven Guard Terminators. Are Raven Guard, maybe stupid for me asking, but are Raven Guard like Dark Angels? Oh, Rulo Kulo says he has not painted for 9 years. Oh, dope. Dope. Rulo Kulo says he started again. What got you started again, Rulo? What made you decide to pick up a brush again? So I played a bit from maybe age 15 until age 17, 18. Then I quit. And then 2 years ago, I got back into it. Rulo Kulo got sucked in by role-playing games. And then he needed miniatures. Hi Steve, welcome. Steve is here. World's greatest 3D printer. Necromunda expert. So what kind of role-playing games were you playing, Rulo? Like some Dark Heresy or Dungeons and Dragons or Vampire the Masquerade or what have you? Rulo says he's playing Apocalypse World. Haven't heard of that game. Is it 40k related? And Rulo Culo is also playing Clásicos del Mazmorreo. He says it's like Hero Quest. So that's like a dungeon crawler. Okay, Steve says I need to crack on with the board. I want to print a Necroplex kit to convert beer cans into tanks and etc. Role playing wise, I'm dungeon mastering a D&D 5th game once a month. And Rulo Culo says yes, it is a dungeon crawler. Okay. Yeah, can't wait to see the Necroplex terrain. Is that the stuff we bought in together, Steve? Is that the thing with the retail license? Or the reselling license? Ah, dope. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. There's also this guy. Okay, so Steve says he has the license for the Necroplex stuff. So there's also a guy on, I don't know what the site is from the top of my mind, but he has this Zone Mortalis set. I think it's of his own design. It's also beautiful. All the walls, all the partitions, all the sections, all the bulkheads, the dividers, the doors look really cool. I don't know if you look at my YouTube channel, you'll see that I have a very big passion for building scenery too, apart from painting and converting. I also passionately build gaming boards. I find crafting very relaxing. Bye Rulo Culo, thanks for joining. Sleep well. Ethel says, do you copy Mel's ideas or use the GW type buildings? Yeah, I learn a lot from Mel. I learn a lot by watching YouTube and checking out all the terrain channels, but Mel is definitely a very good teacher. But I don't copy the builds he's doing, I just apply the skills I see him just I could practice with those until I can use them myself. First you learn all the rules and then you let everything go and then try and see what comes out of that. But Mel is so next level. Can't even begin to try to copy that. You can make an attempt, but it won't look as nice. Like Mel has been building terrain since he was 15 or something. He's been doing this for over 25 years. And I've just been building, I built terrain when I was 16, 17. But that wasn't much to look at. Some basic stuff. And I only started building terrain 3 years ago. Like a year before I started playing Warhammer again. Just felt an enormous drive to build and create. I do have a couple of GW buildings. There was this cool guy on a site called Marktplaats, like Dutch eBay, and chatted with him, bought a Lehman Russ off of him, bought 2 Sentinels off of him, and what else did I buy? 2 Sentinels and a Lehman Russ. But he was very kind and we started talking, and then he added me on Facebook. Very nice guy. Then he had to move to a different city, so he couldn't take all his Warhammer with him. And then he was so kind as to give me a couple of buildings. Just for free, he dropped by my old house. Then he gave me what was left of his scenery. So that's cool. So that's why I have a couple of Games Workshop buildings, thanks to Mike. But I don't know. I don't think I would have bought them myself new in a box. I would have, if I seen them for a good price online, second hand, I might have gotten them, because at this moment if I buy something new, it's got to be something I really, really want. Like even these miniatures, I try to buy them as second hand as for the most part. So McNichol asks, how are the palm trees coming along? Yeah, I haven't actually, to be honest, I haven't built a tree in over a year. No, that's a lie. I haven't built a tree in 6 months. I sold a couple of months ago, and one was a palm tree. But the coolest tree I ever made, it was a weeping willow. That took me so long. It took me 4 days to build that tree. I'm not selling that. If I had to sell that, that would cost 700 euros. It's too, it was too intense building that. Can't charge anybody that amount of money for a tree, so I won't be selling it. But now I know how to build weeping willows. So if I ever had to do it again, there will be a big reduction in the time it takes me, because now I know how to do it. Yeah, but I like palm trees. I think that there are a lot of challenges yet, like left in palm trees for me. I've only built, let's say, 6 or 7 different types of palm trees. Like the date tree is my favorite palm tree. Oh yeah, okay, so Steve says, I know the feeling. The Frostgrave build using lentils as cobble. So I don't know if you follow Steve on Facebook or join the Terraniacs, which is a Facebook group for people who like what Mel does and who like to build scenery themselves. Terrain. Steve is in there and he shows off this ridiculously elaborate build. It's like a square or something with all kind of sigils on it, markings, runes and stuff. Then I look closer and every single cobble is half a lentil. So I don't know how he found the time or the concentration to do that, but that was like, whoa, so much detail. Insane. Super creative to use lentils as cobbles. Have you ever finished that build? Like, did you build more onto that square, or is it just like a center tile or something now? So Steve says he built it in 20-minute spurts and plenty of hair loss. So then that must have taken a couple of days before you were finished. McNichol says, your channel keeps breaking down, so I'm off for a coffee. Take care. Think the green is a bit on the light side, unless you intend dipping as well. Yeah, of course I'll be shading. This just I'm just blocking out colors. Okay, enjoy your coffee, McNichol. So yeah, maybe I need to say this. That is like nothing I put on here is permanent at this stage. It's just blocking out colors. And the green is looking hysterical because I'm painting underneath a LED light. And it's very, very bright. But the paint itself is very calm. If you look at this under a different type of lighting, then it wouldn't be as popping. Steve says, build overview on the channel of the Frostgrave build. The walls, columns, wooden, second floor. Okay, cool. So go to Steve's channel, Steve's Small World. If you want to see the cobblestone square, and apparently he has some cool videos on additions he made to that square. So that's worthwhile checking out, knowing Steve's skills. Hey, Brendan Stanley is back. Cool. He was here yesterday too. Chilled for a bit. He's back with a vengeance.
This winter, Brendan Stanley is back with a vengeance.
Steve says, run for the hills, he's back. Okay, so I think I'm done blocking out the colors on the guns. Yeah, and on my camera they look like super green. But in real life, they look okay. They look like the bottom of this bottle. But on camera, they look like hysterical. I don't know. I'm Dutch, I say weird things. Brandon Stanley says, do you plan on painting chaos marks and stuff on them? Okay, so yeah. They're renegades, obviously. But they're not necessarily chaos renegades. Okay, I'm going to use them in my Death Guard army, of course. And like when I'm playing the chaos key world, I'll play them. But they're not chaos per se. They're more, how do you say, they're hired guns. They'll just go over to whoever pays them most. So they don't really care about Nurgle. They don't really care about Slanesh. They all think it's like superstition. They don't even see the demons. They move forward and execute whoever they were told to execute. These guys are in it for the Prometheum. They're in it for the crypto. They all want to get paid in Cardano and in Bitcoin. I don't know. Just rogues roaming the galaxy. And sometimes they'll protect the Emperor's faith. If they feel like it. If they're feeling generous, they might defend humanity. Dope. Brendan says they're rogues and my guards are mercs too. Welcome to the Merc Club. Yeah. Cool. So there's this guy here in Amsterdam. And he has 1,000. I'm not kidding you. He has 1,000 Katachan. And he bought them while bargain hunting. And they've been sitting in a box for a couple of years. And he hasn't done anything with them. So he asked me if I wanted to buy them. 1,000 Katachans, can you imagine? Fixing those up. It would take me 2-3 months. And then painting them, that would take another month. No, that would take a year, man. That would take a year. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to buy them all. Might buy 200. Might buy 300. Might buy 1,000, I don't know. I don't know yet. So now I was thinking of doing all the cloaks a little bit of medium and a little bit of rock art flesh. Just giving it a thin coat. Try to make Duncan happy. The inner Duncan. I think rock art flesh is cool because it makes for a wonderful base for this stuff. This is German camo beige World War II by Vallejo. This is really like, this is a slightly grayer tone, but then with that beige on top, it'll just look like a really dirty cloth. Really like it. And rock art flesh is it's so awesome. It covers in one go, even if you were working really thin. Brandon Stanley advises using Palette Witch flesh. Yeah, that's also a nice paint. I've seen people use it. I haven't bought it though, but maybe it will be a nice addition in the future. And you can never have enough paints. It's always nice to experiment with different paints, different techniques. Not one paint is made the same. Okay. So there's one guy. So these cloaks, they may look very, very gray right now. But this is just the first color. I'm going to build it up. It's going to be like a very dirty brownish thing when I'm done, because like basically when after it's painted, I'll dip shade it in blue black, and after that dip shade dries, I'll start whipping out all the washes, do brown washes, sepia washes, and then it really starts to look the way I want it to look. Brandon asked me, do you plan on doing battle reports? I don't know. To be honest, I don't play that well. Oh, my son is crying. Just a second. Okay, I'm back. Only in death does duty end. Daddy first, painter second. So no, I don't play that much. I don't get the chance to play that much. Would love to play more, but I'm very busy. So if I can play like twice a month, that's a lot. So getting 20 games in a year is like, that's above average. How do you set up and use your wet palette? Okay, so this is just some baking paper on top of some blue paper cloth. Then I fill the tub with water, and then I pour the excess out. And then what sticks to the paper cloth stays in there. And I just put the baking paper on top. And that is enough to keep the paints moist for a couple of days. And I use it because it saves me money on the paints. I don't have to fight paints that are drying up on my palette before I get to use them, so that's cool. That's how I use it. Steve says, I was lucky when I came back to crafting, picked up about 100 GW paints with Paint Station and a Lord of the Rings Goblin Town set with trolls for £100. Wow. Sold the Lord of the Rings stuff for another 100, so I got the paints for free. Oh wow, that's lucking out, man. That's cool. That's super cool. Those are the deals. Literally, I can spend a good 20 minutes looking for deals on Facebook almost every day. Just waiting for that one deal where I can get a shitload of paints for almost next to no money. Every morning in the bus, before I check the latest SEO news, before I check the latest marketing techniques, I always check my Facebook sales groups. Like, what is there to buy? I'm very stingy when it comes to the hobby. I always want the best deal. Hey, Peninsula Painting. Have a nice having you back. Brandon Stanley says, man, to get a guard squad, I gotta do everything short of selling my soul. Why can't I get that lucky? Yeah, you just need to put in the time finding deals. The deals don't come to you. You just have to be alert. And when it does, you have to be fast. You have to put some money on your PayPal, DM the guy, say, okay, I'm willing to pay this amount for this. Are you down? And if he says no, you make a second offer, or you just back out and wait for the new next time somebody offers something at a cool price, or you go for it. That's how you do it. You just have to check it daily. Maybe you can find a couple of hundred used guards. Hi Steve, yeah, enjoy your coffee, man. All these people drinking coffee at night. Hardcore. I can't drink coffee after 5 o'clock. I just can't do it. I'd be awake until 3 o'clock at night if I drank coffee after 5 o'clock. Can't have it. Don't even drink tea at night. But I drink a shitload of coffee. I think I have a cup or two before I leave the house in the morning. And then before 8 o'clock at work, I would have had like 3 ristrettos or three espresso at least. And then before 10, I'm probably on cup 6. I drink about 9 to 10 espressos a day, easy. Brandon says, it's my fault cause one time my friend bought a model from eBay where the pics of them were what you expect, but when they arrived they were scratched up like he tried to strip them off paint, and then they were covered in some weird stuff. Yeah, I just expected this shit now. I really burned my hands on this batch I'm painting right now. They were total garbage. Didn't want to be... Yeah, in the end, you never know what you're going to get. Yeah, just have to expect the worst and then be prepared to strip anyway. Like this one time was even worse than this time. I bought 100 Space Marines, but then when I got them, they were primed with some kind of oily paint. It was really hard to strip, and they were the super ugly second generation sculpts. Like they were like the Marines that were shrugged and like too ugly to look at, like the super nasty 90s sculpts. You know those? Like before they used the computer to sculpt these models. Couldn't look at them, so I still have them in a bag somewhere, waiting for someone who says, oh, I like super ugly old models from the 90s. Let me have your super ugly old models from the 90s. And then I'll say, no, these guys, they were hand sculpted and hand designed, and this is before AutoCAD. You can't have them. I'm saving them. I want at least €4 per Space Marine. And then the person says, no, no, I need them. I need the super ugly sculpts from the 90s. I like super ugly sculpts from the Perry age of Warhammer. And I'll say, okay, you're twisting my arm, you're twisting my arm. You can have all 100 for €300. And then they'll buy it, and then I will finally be redeemed. And I will have a little bit of spending cash to buy more paint. No, I don't know. They look like trash to me. So that was shit. Brendan says, I feel like whenever I order from eBay, someone spins a wheel called the Circle of Misfortune. Okay. No, man. I don't know. eBay isn't necessarily cheap. I got the best deals off of Facebook. Got some stuff off of eBay. But then, like I bought a lot of Khorne Blood Reavers a couple of weeks back. Those were obscenely cheap. I paid maybe like 35 cents for each Khorne Blood Reaver, and they were still on the sprue. I thought, oh, these guys will make wonderful Renegade Guard. I have to get all the ugly Khorne marking off there. I hate Khorne. Khorne is like the fake Chaos God. He's like, he could be an imperialist. He's like, he's about shedding blood and blood for the blood god, and like the emperor is the blood god. Not one entity makes more people die than the emperor, so whether it's in his name or due to his zealots, I think Khorne is like a faker. He wants to be the emperor, but he can't. He's not as cool. He has this mentally retarded idiot Karn running around. I think that the Khorne faction is too clean to be chaos. Hey, Gummy Nerds, welcome. Gummy Nerd says, I have had good luck on eBay, although one #douchebag sold some awful resculpts of Imperial Guard, Praetorian Guard. At least he returned my money. yeah, I don't mind buying resculpts, but if they're like crappy quality or they hold no detail or they're very brittle, then I'd be pissed. I'd be super pissed. Brendan says, someone. Oh, okay. That's in addition to his previous message. Gummy Nerd says, Khorne, the god of cobbed foods. Yeah, Khorne is a shitbag. I can't say shitbag, of course. He's a bag of excrement. The wannabe chaos god. Obey or Thirster. That's like right out of a Sprite commercial. Like every time I see something that has to do with Khorne, I think that they're like taking a piss. Like GW is just having fun, creating this super ultra baddie that is all about just trying too hard. It's like they're the ultramarines of chaos there. Only thing they do is trying too hard. Of course, I'm a Nurgle fan, so I'm biased. Taking some more Rockart flesh. really love how well it covers it. So easy just to put a thin layer on there and got immediate coverage. These hobby lac paints, they're almost transparent. They're wonderfully matte, but you need 4 or 5 coats of something to cover anything. Even if you go over brown or yellow with orange, you still need about 4 to 5 coats to go over that yellow. And this rock art flash, like, you touch it and bam, it's on. So Brandon, you also play Imperial Guard and Gummy Nerds. What do you play? You play Praetorian Guard? Is that still something you do, or did you quit the guard after being duped like that? It looks quite cool. If you don't mind me saying so. So, been painting for an hour. Only blocked out 2 colors. But it's all good. Okay, so that's the record flash. Now I'm taking some German camo beige. I'm going to go into the crevices of the cape. So the image quality is really bad. As beautiful as it looks on my camera, as ugly it looks on YouTube itself. That's a real bummer. Ha, Steve is back. Dope. Hope you enjoyed your coffee. Is that I don't know. I'm looking at the YouTube screen too while I'm painting, but it looks really pixelated. It looks really, really bad. Super, yeah, like super nasty images. Looks okay here. Okay, cool. Then it must be my my stream. So, Steve, do you also have a 40k army, or you're just doing the skirmish games? Yeah. Okay, Steve says he hasn't done 40k yet, but he keeps on thinking about it. Well, then it's only a matter of time. Yeah, Kill Team and Necromunda are cool. I love Kill Team. I also love Shadow War Armageddon. Really like all the small games Games Workshop put out. All the squad games. So if you were to have a 40k army, what would be your first army? Yeah, Lost Patrol is the one with the scouts on the Orc planet, right? It's like Space Hulk in the jungle or something. Ah, Tyranids. Okay, cool, yeah. Lots of cool deals for Tyranids on Facebook always, like super cheap. I don't know why, but people always try to get rid of them. So if you keep an eye on all the trading, like buy, sell, trade posts that has to do with 40k, I think you can build an entire 3,000 point Tyranid army for less than £300 if you pay attention to what's on offer. You can literally get thousands of pounds worth for next to nothing if you want to play Tyranids. Really sad actually. It means that there aren't that many Tyranid players to play against if everybody's dumping their armies. But on the other hand, if they get sold, then there are new players on the other end of the spectrum. But if you have like children in the house and you want to play and they want to play and they're going to be hogging the Tyranids, then what will you play? So like you need a second army. Steve says, I keep an eye out. Would be a good army to teach the boys how to paint. Yeah. But basically any army would be a good army to teach people how to paint. Like these Warhammer models are beautiful. Pardon. I need to find some free space on my wet palette. Putting on the Vallejo Salmon Rose. Model color by Vallejo. And I'm also putting some model color Panzer Series Vallejo Flat Flesh on my wet palette. That's a really nice color to use on the models if they're base coated orange. And I'm taking some Troll Slayer orange. The most orangey orange in the world. So that's a very dark orange actually. Just going to do it here and there, not too much. Very easy to overdo it with Troll Slayer. Steve says Blood Angels or something along that line. It's the big stuff that pulls me off 40k as expensive, but a lot of proxy night tanks you can print. Yes, there are a lot of things you can print. And if you're not planning on doing tournaments, then I think you should definitely go that route. Anything to save $1. But if you want to play in tournaments, then it's best to have the real stuff. Just get it secondhand. Yeah, I think it's really cool that you can print all of those tanks, because they probably don't look like the real stuff, but you can use them as scenery. Like, you can totally trash them and have epic scatter terrain for basically just a time investment, right? Because I don't think filament is that expensive. Maybe the energy you put in is expensive. Yeah, that's cool. Printing your own designed bits for people, just as a complement to the real toys. Like extra arm, extra weapon you always imagined, always wanted on there. Yeah, I can see that. 3D printing is really cool. But I'd also would love to have just like the real stuff. I think there should be a balance. So I'm giving the big flat surfaces on these minis a lick of Troll Slayer. making sure to keep the flat orange of the hobby leg on most of the fatigues, so they really give that prison vibe. Steve says filament is about 15 pounds per kilo. It will take 3 hours and 20 minutes to print, and then you've spent 54 pence, including power. Okay. Oh wow. So that's dirt cheap. It's uber cheap. So like you could print a Bane blade in 6 hours, and then spend like £1.08. What is it? Or is that too optimistic? 6 hours for a Bane blade. My telephone keeps telling me that my connection is really poor, which is weird because I'm on Wi-Fi. So that would be my internet provider's fault. Okay. Steve says it's a long print to do a Bane blade. Would be less than 20 pounds to print. Beats mine 7-minute max down 1 meg. That sounds like, I don't know, that sounds like magic talk to me. Don't know what you're saying. That's some hardcore 3D printer in crowd talk right there. I don't know what a Mac Muxup is. Okay. So that's a Troll Slayer. A little bit of this rosy white. A little bit of this flesh tone. Try to highlight it. Cool. Blood angels are cool. Will you do the ones who are predominantly black, or will you do the ones that are predominantly red? Will you do the carmine colored ones, or the ones that are Bordeaux red? How will you do your blood angel, Steve? Steve says he likes the red ones. Okay. So are you going to use a GW color red as the main red, or are you going to go for Vallejo or Army Painter? If you do blood angels, what would you use for the main red color? Hi, Underdog Painting, welcome back. Nice to have you. I'm highlighting my Renegade guard. Steve says probably main red will be airbrush, so Vallejo then washes and edge highlights. Okay, cool. Will you use Vallejo Air or game color or model color? The air paint range is great, Steve says. So, underdog painting, what are you painting at the moment? Steve is thinking about doing blood angels. Underdog says he's watching Equilibrium and he's not really painting anything. Okay, cool. Yeah, sometimes you need a break from painting. Okay. So it's getting a bit late. I think I'm going to quit streaming in about 10 minutes. Do a couple of more highlights. Then I'm off to bed. Long day tomorrow. Why do you work night shifts, Steve? Is it like the Ministry of Defense thing where you can only make chips for drones at night? Or is the power cheaper at night? Is that why you have to work? Or do you work at home? Like, you make all those drawings at home and then you go to office like once a week or something. 2 p.m., 11 p.m. Oh, wow. That's nice. So you get to bring the kids to school in the morning. Luxury. Steve says, I work in the factory. Yeah, me and the wife do opposite shifts in the week, so no child minders. Cool. That must save you a shitload of money. But the trade-off is that you don't get to see your wife that much. That's not cool. Must be hard. Cool. So Steve says he misses the evenings, but he gets Friday evening and the weekends. Yeah, but somebody needs to make those chips. Cool. Steve's wife works at the airport. Okay, one more and then I'm quitting the show. Well, stream. It's not really a show. Watching me is probably boring as fuck. But I'm happy that you guys were here. It was very gezellig, as they say. Very entertaining. Show must go on. Okay, yeah. So that's it. I blocked them out on some basic highlights. And then they're ready for finishing up later. Block out the skin, block out the metals, block out the equipment. And then on to detail painting. Okay, thank you for joining me. I'm going to call it a night.
West Side.
Thanks, and maybe hit subscribe if you like what you've seen. So, see you next time. Goodbye.